Hi, it's James, and this is part 5 of our tutorial series on the Autco Medicom system. And today we're going to be talking about some miscellaneous things that I haven't mentioned before. The first thing is to go into the zone table, and for each node you are using, go into, say, zone 1 and delete staff presence timeout, the three of them, and do it for all the zones, for all the nodes that you are actually using. So let's say that if we are using 3 nodes, then go into zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3 and delete these. Now, the reason why we do that is that there is a feature in the Autco system in that the staff presence, if the staff presence is on for too long, there is a sort of an alarm. Actually, it's a silent alarm, but it's going to be displayed on the console saying that there is a presence over time. And according to my experience, we never need that. And also, there's something annoying about those presence over time messages is that they will cover up the real calls, the regular bed calls, for example. So it's always better if we take them out. The second thing is about canceling at the point of origin. Now, a lot of places, it is a rule that you really have to, if a patient makes a call, you really have to go inside the room and press the cancel button to cancel the call. But there are some places where they're going to ask you to be able to cancel the call by using the console. That is to say, by answering the call using the handset, and then once they hang up, they would want to cancel that call. By default, it's always going to require you to go inside the room and press the cancel button. But if they do ask you to be able to cancel from the handset, this is what you need to do. So you go into the call table, and for each call that needs to be canceled from the handset, so let's say, for example, a regular bed call, let's say if they want this bed call to be able to cancel from the handset, then you're going to go into this call, and inside control options, you set it command reset. And this is going to make this call, only this call, be able to be cancelled by using the handset. And then by hanging up the handset, the call from this room is going to be cancelled. This is not the case for any other room, which for any other call, actually you can see that this bathroom call is also in room 101, but it does not have this command reset option. So this bathroom call is not going to be able to be cancelled from the console. You would have to go inside the bathroom and press the cancel button. But if I do add it here, then this call too would be able to be cancelled from the console without going inside the room. But usually you do not want that. So this is just in case they ask you to have it. Most of the time you don't have to do it because they really want the staff to have to go inside the room to be able to cancel. A second thing is about the call kind. By default, you have these call kinds. Now you don't have to use all of them. Usually there's always the alarm call, which is basically the bed call, the patient call, whatever name you want to give it, and it has a priority of 1. Service call, I've never seen anyone use that. Staff presence has a priority of 0, which basically means there's no call. It's just indicating that somebody, a staff is inside the room, so it has a priority of 0. A bathroom call is a priority of 2, which is a little bit higher than the bed call. You have the urgent call and the code blue, and again, you don't have to use them if you don't want to. Usually you would always have the alarm call, which is the default call. And one thing that you would have to modify is, for example, if you do have a site that is in French, then you would want to go inside each call kind and change its name. So never change the actual symbol. Never change this. It's always the name, and you can only edit here. You don't need to worry about all these. And let's say that you want it to be in French. Let's call it just presence. And here, a alarm call. Let's call it just appel. And let's say a bathroom call. Let's call it toilette. And a urgent call. Let's call it urgence. And the code blue, we can leave it as code blue. Obviously, you can have all caps here if you want to. And changing these are going to be the names that are going to be shown whenever it's displayed on the console. So if your site is in French, then you really do want to change those names to a more French sounding name. Okay. The next thing is about the order of those call points. So let's say that you have created 16 calls for node 1, and then you created another 16 calls for node 2, but then you realize that you don't have enough calls for node 1, and you added, let's say, 2 more CCA8s. So what you would do here is to add it on your call table. Again, you would do C01 because it is node 1, and then dash, sorry, wrong one, that's RC1 here. Here you would have C01 dash call kind. I usually choose alarm call. It always depends on what kind of call you're going to have the most often. And it's going to be from 17 to 32. And that would make another 16 more calls. And click on create. Oh, sorry. This here too also has to be changed to the same as call number starts at 17, which is has to be the same as here. Create. And as you can see, one annoying thing is that it puts the call after node number 2. Now, ideally, what you would want is to have C01 17 to follow C01 16, and this here would go below that. But since this program is, in my opinion, not really well done, it puts them at the end of it. So inside this program, there's absolutely no way for you to change the order of those calls. But I'm going to show you a way to work around that. So you save the file. Remember that I save it under tutorial.acm on my desktop, and here it is on my desktop. I open it with, and I can open it with a regular notepad. And as you can see, the ACM files are actually just regular text files. And this, it's pretty long because of all those options in there. But since you created them last, you created the call points last, this is what you're going to get. And you have here C02, and then you have C01-17, and if I go down, C01-32. So I would select all of those. I would cut, and then I would go into C01-16. Obviously, I would do something like a C01-016. Oh, okay. Yeah, and it found it here. I would press enter twice and paste that in place. Save and go back into site config. Oh, I forgot to close this file. I should have closed this file before, but it doesn't matter. I close the file and then I open it again. And if you go back into the call table, you can see here C01-16, and then it goes to 17 up to 32, and then it's C02 from 1 to 16. So the point of that is to show you that you have a lot of power if you can actually edit directly from the ACM file in Notepad. Obviously, this is going to be a more advanced technique, but it's not that scary. The first time I went into the ACM file, I look at it, and a lot of things are not familiar. So one thing I recommend is that you look for things that are familiar. You know that the symbol C01-001 exists, so you just find that, and it's inside a call group, and that's normal because remember, we put that call point inside group 1, so it's normal that this is here. And then you look further down and you can see that this is the start of our call table, C01-001, and then C02 up to C02-016. So as you get more familiar with this, you can edit it manually using Notepad or some other advanced text editing programs. I personally use Sublime Text, which is very useful to put in a lot of things very quickly at the same time.